at the time I was still exhibiting my Wizard of Oz collection locally back in Louisiana. And one of the things that I was always on the hunt for were different sized items to add to my collection. Hello fellow Ozians, and welcome to the channel. Today we are looking at a set of figurines that took me 5 years to collect. These were originally released by Enesco. This was one of the companies that started producing Wizard of Oz products back in 1989 for the 50th anniversary. And they are still currently making figurines. These that we'll be looking at were released in two different waves. The first one was in 1999 and the second one was in 2002. So, let's get unboxing these. And once I've got these all unboxed, we'll then look at the figures. And the first figure that we'll be looking at is Dorothy. And Dorothy is posed rather interestingly in that she is admiring the ruby slippers. And they have some nice little glitter on them, which was something that we also saw with the Hallmark ornaments around this same time in 1999. It is interesting that the yellow brick road that she's standing on is more of a gold color than a yellow, which is really different. I like how she is posed in this particular figure, and that there aren't too many figures where Dorothy is admiring the shoes and not necessarily walking around or skipping down the yellow brick road. It's a really different pose that really makes this figure stand out amongst other ones. And the next figure is the Scarecrow, and I'm sure the first thing you'll notice is that he is not on the same yellow brick road base that Dorothy is on. That's one of the things that I really like about this set, is that they all feature a different base, which makes each of the characters really stand out. And the bases are also kind of correlate with the character, which is pretty cool. The next figure is the Tin Man, and he is sitting on a tree stump. One of the things that I do like about at least the first three figures is that all of the flowers around them look pretty much the same and do kind of give a little story as far as correlating each of them together, even though they are all posed completely differently and feature different scenes. So that's the Tin Man. And then the last one from the original 1999 set is the Cowardly Lion. And there's a little fern behind him and some vines right under his feet. He is holding his tail. And that is the lion. There is one piece that I don't own from this original set of four, and that is a display shelf that Enesco made that all four of these could be displayed on. I have not searched out for this piece. It was not with these figures when I first got them. I actually found all of these in an estate sale a good decade ago. With this particular Wizard of Oz collection, I didn't keep all of the items. There were some, a lot, that I sold, and then there were other items that I set aside, like these figurines. The reason why I kept these figures, beyond the fact that I really like how they're differently posed and that they have different things going on with the bases, was because at the time I was still exhibiting my Wizard of Oz collection locally back in Louisiana. And one of the things that I was always on the hunt for were different sized items to add to my collection. And at the time, I was looking for smaller items like these that could really fill in the cracks, as you could say, when doing an exhibit. There is always room for just that one more little item that could fill in that space. So that was why I set these aside. And interestingly, at another estate sale a good 5 years later, being sold by the same company, were the other two figures from this collection. These two were released in 2002, and the first one we'll look at is Glinda. And during this time, it's kind of interesting how Glinda featured purple and pink together, even though she does not look like this in the movie. It's interesting how this late 90s, early 2000s, Glinda had a purple-pink color combination. Does anybody else miss that from the Wizard of Oz figures from back then? She is standing on the yellow brick road, and her yellow brick road is much more yellow than Dorothy. And that is Glinda. And our last and final figure is the largest and probably the most detailed, and that is the Wicked Witch of the West. And she is surrounded by red, translucent resin, representing fire. She really stands out in this collection. And she's a pretty cool figurine. Really love how you can see all of these different angles and how dynamic she looks. And that's how really all of these figures look. They're really cool from any angle. That's one of those things that really makes these figures stand out. And that's the Wicked Witch. So if you wanted to acquire these figures, how much should you expect to pay for them, and just how rare are they, since they're well over 20 years old now? Well, the good news for you, collector, is that these figures sold pretty well back in the day and are still reasonably easy to find. The only thing that I would say about the passing of time is that some people think that you should pay more for these than what I think you should pay for them. Now, I don't think if you find these loose, you should spend more than $10 a figure. I think that would be spending a little bit too much if you do find them new in the box, or with the box. I'm not really sure that there is a difference. Someone else might make a big difference, but if they have the box, I think you should spend anywhere between $80 to $100 for the set, and if they don't have the box and you're paying for them as a set, you could probably get them for $50 or maybe $40 on a good day. Anyways, they are a great little collection of figurines. They don't take too much space up in a Wizard of Oz collection. They are about the size of a lot of the Hallmark Wizard of Oz ornaments, so if you have a smaller curio cabinet and you mainly have Hallmark ornaments and things like that, these are definitely a great addition to your Wizard of Oz collection. Are there any Enesco figurines that you have in your collection? Comment down below. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, bye y'all.